Hi Perfans, thanks for joining today's mini workshop. In today's mini workshop, we'll teach you how you can hedge your yield farming risk with perpetual contracts. But before we start, here are some disclaimers. The following slides are not financial advice, so you get wrecked by following the following steps, it's your problem. But if you make a lot of money by doing that, congrats. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. Today's tactic is only applicable to the yield farmable tokens that also has a perpetual market. Because we all know that a price of yield farmable token can be really volatile. In the case of cream, the price of it drops from $300 to $150 all within 45 days. But how can you profit from yield farming without getting hit by such price volatility? Assuming you want to provide liquidity with 500 cream, and at that time, 1 cream equals to 300 USDC. So you just buy 500 cream on Uniswap or on Binance. And then subsequently just show 500 cream on FTS or on Binance. Because those two positions cancel out with each other direction wisely, so you should be able to maintain market neutral. And as a third step, you just provide liquidity on either Uniswap or on SushiSwap. And with 500 cream you bought from state number 1 and also an additional USDC, 150,000 USDC. Because it's an automatic market maker, so each side must be the same value. And during 45 days of yield farming, these traders just sell the farm cream. So the yield should be 55,000 USDC. So in case you don't know how I calculate it, I assume the annual percentage rate is 150%. But that's the annual rate, right? So you just divide it by 365 days and then multiply by 45 days because this user farm cream for 45 days. And then multiply by 300,000 USDC because that's the total amount of money user put inside the liquidity pool. Because one side must, the value of each side must be the same. So combined together, this user provides 300,000 USDC to a liquidity pool. So that's how I come with that number. Then unfortunately, Cream's price dropped from 300 dropped from 300 USDC to 150 USDC. Then when this user tries to withdraw his liquidity, he gets more cream in return. And since he doesn't really want to have cream, has cream in his wallet, he just sells the 700 cream on Uniswap, which should realize a loss of 90,000 USDC. In case you don't know how I calculate that, so this user sells 700 cream at a price of 150 USDC per cream, and plus the 105,000 USDC when he withdraws from the liquidity pool. That's the total amount of money he gets by withdrawing from the liquidity pool. But this user provides 300,000 USDC when providing liquidity, right? So that's why the loss is minus 90,000 USDC. But fortunately, this user shorts cream on FTS as a second step, which is why this price drop from 300 USDC to 150 USDC can give him a profit of 75,000 USDC, 75,000 USDC. Well, and the formula for this one is quite simple. You just multiply by, just use 500 cream and multiply by the price differences between entry and closure. So that is 150. So that's how you get 75,000 USDC as a profit. But combined together, despite a huge price drop as the yield farmable token, is still a profitable trade for this trader. And at the same time, this trader also can profit from profit from funding payment. So in case you don't know, funding payment is a mechanism used to incentivize users to take the less popular side. So during a bull market, usually the less popular side is the short side. So that's why you get paid from the short position you open in the second step. And here I assume the hourly funding rate is 0.003%. So funding payment is calculated as the funding rate multiplied by the USD value of their position. So this user have 500 crane, and one crane is the average price is one crane is 225, and then multiply by 24 hours because that's hourly rate. 0.03% is hourly rate, and multiply by 45 days. So that's how you get 3,645 USDC. So to recap, here's our action items. First thing is you need to buy X amount of fungible tokens on the spot market. In our previous example, that would be Uniswap. And then just open a short position with a position size of X. Then you just provide liquidity for pool 2, which means that a fungible token and USD or E. Then just keep selling the funding yield on spot market. Then once you think you are satisfied with the yield, or you're just done with yield farming, just withdraw liquidity from the pool that you previously provide liquidity to, and you just sell the fungible token on spot market and close the short position. So before you know this tactic, you will lose money when the price of the token half, because if you don't hedge with step number 2, which is open a short position on a perpetual market, your ROI would your loss would be yield minus the loss. So your net loss would be 34,000 USDC. So that's what happens if you don't hedge your risk. But now you know how to hedge your risk, so it's still a profitable trade for you despite a huge price drop. So that's how you can hedge your yield farming risk with perpetual contracts. I also attach a bull case in the slide, so you can see what will happen if the price of the yield farmable token moves instead of just half. And this one question brought up during our live workshop. People ask what will happen if what should he do if there is no perpetual market for this yield farmable token. One alternative I could come up with is you could check money markets like Clean Finance or Aave or Compound to see if you could borrow that asset. For instance, let's say if you want to fund this token, what you can do is you just provide some asset as the collateral and borrow the target asset. Then borrow the target asset, just sell it on the market as a short side, because what you want to do is you want to create a market neutral strategy, right? So in this case, if there's a perpetual market, you could just check Clean or check Aave or Compound to see if you could borrow that asset. If you can, just borrow the asset and then sell it on the spot market, so to create a short position. So by doing this, the first step and the second step should cancel out with each other. So that's all I have for this mini workshop, and hope you learned something today. And if you like it, please share this video with your friend, because we want to reach to more users to our protocol. And thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next workshop.